Okay, so like I said, if you finish the buff and the pink, then skipping steps becomes actually a good thing to do because you're getting good enough that you can do this in your head. Now the first thing you should always do is write down the problem on your paper. Don't skip that. The next line was to typically say, okay, I've got to find dy dx. That's what I'm looking for. This class is all about the equal sign. Okay? You have to make sure you understand what we mean when we're using equal. Look at the board. It says right here, I'm looking for dy dx. That's the goal of every single problem in this unit. Find the formula for dy dx, the slope of the curve. It says right here that y is exactly the same thing as 3 raised to the 2x. That means on this line, instead of writing dy, I could say, oh, that's the same thing as d3 to the 2x. So that's not a new step. We learned that before, but that's why that step works. Questions? Okay, next line, we've got to use a rule. So I go here, and I'm going to pay as many extra credit points today as I can. So keep raising your hand as I, since we have lots of people hopefully watching these on video, we'll allow the players at home to play along. Feels like a game show. So if you're at home and you are not just watching this video casually, you're actually studying this video, and I ask a question and you can answer the question, feel free to pay yourself the extra credit points that I'm awarding to those that are actually here. So we grab the exponential rule, come over here, paste it in, and take a look at it. And we note that our objective here is to get this box in orange, right here, to be an exact copy of this box in green. And if we're going to make it work, we've got to choose A appropriately, and we've got to choose G of X appropriately. This is not supposed to be a hard question, so don't think I'm trying to trick you, but raise your hand if you know the appropriate choice for A and the appropriate choice for G. Show me your hands. Emily?
A is 3 and G is 2x.
Show me if you knew it. 4 points, 5 for Emily. So now we take advantage of the equal sign and say the rule declares that the 2 orange boxes are exactly the same as the purple box. So now just move that out of the way. And we write down. I want to get you used to different symbols. So I'm going to write y prime this time. That means the same thing as dy dx. So I have the natural log of A. A in this case is 3, multiplied by A to the gx. So that's 3 to the 2x. Multiplied by d over dx of g of x. Like so. Questions? Okay, the next step you should really start doing in your head if you've done a bunch of homework. Right here, I'm going to use the multiplying constant rule, which means I just pull out the 2. So just think of it, don't write it down. Like, here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, that's going to be 2 multiplied by dx over dx. That's just 2. So now I have y prime. We'll write y prime of x. That's sometimes shows up on the AP test. Of natural log of 3 multiplied by 3 to the 2x multiplied by 2. Questions to that? I'm guessing the final stumbling block for some people is they want to multiply these two together. Because of this exponent, that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Some people want to multiply, these two together. That's illegal because the 3 here is inside the ln function. So you can't multiply by something that's inside that function. So that's why you actually have to stop right there. And all they did was rearrange the order of the factors. Otherwise, that's the same answer. So, does that answer your question? Okay. Please.
So for proper notation, do we always have to write like y prime or y prime actually to the equal sign after the first one?
Gotcha. 4 points for Melissa. Technically, you do have to write dy dx once. Like you would never want to do this. Actually, I'll pay points for the whole room. Why would doing that be illegal? Like, why will that cost you a point on the AP test? Why will that lead me to say, oh, you don't get to retake test 2 because your notation sucks? I hate saying that word. It makes me feel so harsh. What's the reason, Luke?
Because you're not saying it equals the derivative, you're just saying it equals the original function.
How many knew it? 4 points, 5 for Luke. Perfect. Yeah, I can't do that. I've got to, do this. Now after that, Melissa, it actually is okay to leave it blank. I'm going to probably keep writing because I've just seen a few too many people who will learn the steps, but then when I say, what have we found, they say, oh, we found the answer. And I need one of you to be generous and make a sign for me so I can put you up here on the wall of fame and remember your name forever. It says, I don't like this word at all in my class because it doesn't mean anything. Like, you can't just tell me it's the answer. You need to know what have we found. We found a formula that can be used to calculate the slope of this function. And so I'm going to keep writing dy dx. But technically, you don't have to do that. 4 points. Zach.
When you started, do you have to start with dy dx, or can you do like f prime of x?
4 points. In this example, because they started with y equal, the very next line could be y prime. I wouldn't make the next line f prime, because nowhere in the problem did they tell you that f is 3 to the 2x. If you want to write that as your first line, then your next line can legally be f prime, and that would be okay. They'd accept that.
Oh.
4 points. Please, Caleb.
On the first line, like you don't have like dy over dx or y prime or whatever, but you have to write the like equals d3 2x, or could you just go to the ln?
Awesome. So, no, perfect. 4 points for Kayla. Yeah, that's a really good example of where, again, if you've done the buff sheet, you've done the pink, please feel free to skip from here right to there.
Okay.
Totally valid. Not a problem at all. I have you write this line in the beginning. Again, it's to get thoroughly impressed on your mind what we're really doing. I just had a lot of trouble years ago when I didn't require that. Way too many people struggle on test 2. So I just make you do it for a couple of homeworks, then we start skipping it. It works a lot better. So, but yeah. Cool. Does anyone have a different problem from the pink that you brought with you to class that you're like, hey, I had trouble with this, I really would like it? If you don't have one, don't worry about it. We can easily find a really good example from the yellow to get you going on the yellow. So, looks like yellow it is. Oh, please, Nick.
I just have a quick question.
You're good.
So, every time we're looking at these problems and we use we plug in all these things to find them, we're just finding the formula for y prime. Okay. I was just making sure.
No, you're good. 4 points. The other way I would keep reminding, the other thing I'd want to keep reminding yourself of, Nick, is this. Every single problem in Unit 2 is exactly the same. Every single problem. As far as the objective. The objective is exactly what you said. I'm given a formula that I could use to find a whole bunch of x, y terms. I want to find a formula that can be used to find the tangent slope at all those x, y terms. That's what we're always doing. And really, the thing that I think is fascinating is with the rule sheet, all we do is use equal over and over again. You just start and you say, oh, this is the same as this, so let's make a substitution. These two are the same, let's make another substitution. That's all it is. Okay, let's go to the yellow. Let me find a good one to talk about. And I try to do different examples in different classes because, as I've often said, in this class it's not about a specific problem. It's all about understanding a concept, so it really doesn't matter what example we do. Let's see. Okay, I have had a few questions on how to use the quotient rule because I haven't done any quotient rule examples. So we're going to do number 5. Let me get the video going here. Oh, it's already going. Let's stop the current video.